Today we are putting up for battle my absolutely beloved Chanel Le Beige's Waterfresh Tint versus the newer Rose Inc Skin and Hands Luminous Tinted Serum. These products are very, very similar together, and if you have been around here before, you know how much I adore this particular primer. And a lot of you have been asking me since this one came out if it is like pretty much an exact dupe for this one. And I have been testing this out for the past week and a half. I just recently managed to get my hands on this one. So I've tested it out. I have my fully formed thoughts and I'm gonna share them with you guys today. So hopefully that sounds interesting to you. Now, if it does, let's do the YouTubey things. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. You guys have been asking for this video for a while, ever since this Rose Inc Tinted Serum basically got released. You guys have been wondering how these compare because you do know, if you've been around here before, you know how much I love and obsess over this one. We only got this in Australia 2 weeks ago. So I know that this got released quite some time ago, I think at the start of the year off the top of my head, but we only got it in Australia 2 weeks ago, but I actually picked this one up on my trip to America a couple of weeks ago as well, so it all happened about the same time. As I mentioned, this Chanel product is a holy grail for me, an absolute holy grail for me. My mum actually got me this product for Christmas, and ever since then I have never looked back. I know this isn't a new product to the market in any way, but it was a new product to me, and as soon as I tried it, I've honestly never looked back. I don't even know if you can see, like, I don't have actually that much of the product itself left, and I only got this at Christmas time last year. The Chanel product is 110 Australian dollars, depending on the retailer you get it from. I believe you can range from 90 to 110 just depending on where you buy it from. It has 30 mils 1 fluid ounce, so kind of like a standard foundation amount in the product, and it only has 3 shades, and the shades are very poor. So mine's medium light. You can also get medium and medium plus. I don't know how far those shades would stretch amongst the spectrum of skin tones. Definitely it wouldn't go to the deepest, that's for sure. So Chanel really needs to work on their shade range. So the description of the Chanel product from the Chanel website, to give us some context, on the cutting edge of microfluidic technologies in the cosmetics field, Chanel creates Eau de Tint, the first water-fresh tint by Chanel. Lightweight, hydrating, instantly refreshing, the ultra lightweight formula is composed of 75% water. Created with microfluidic technology, micro droplets of encapsulated pigments melt into the skin on contact, creating a radiant bare skin effect. It provides a softened, smooth finish for an even complexion that lasts all day. And that's pretty much how I would describe this product, honestly. The best thing about this product for me personally is just the absolute cooling, refreshing feeling I get when I first apply this to the skin. It's really just so cooling, which I have really sensitive skin, and half the time it's just feeling aggravated. So when I put this on, it really does just cool everything down. It kind of feels like putting your face in like this really nice refreshing face bath or something. I don't know. That's what it does for me anyway. I also have combination skin, so I'm mindful of the hydrating products that I apply to my skin before I put my makeup on, because if I put too much hydration on, it just gets like an oil slick by the end of the day. I don't find that this particular formula really impacts my oils in any way. I just find it really just hydrates and plumps and juices and refreshes my skin in the best way possible, and that's what I love so much about it. So I think regardless of what your skin is, dry to oily, you can really use this and get something out of it. A lot of people use this as an actual tint. I know even a couple of you have commented saying this is like your ultimate foundation kind of, because it's just like the perfect level of coverage for you. That's not for me. I use this as a primer pretty much, and a primer only, just because I really like my foundation to kind of cover something. I've got, you know, acne scarring, I've got redness, that kind of a thing. So I actually use this as a primer for that like hydration and juiced up effect. I will say though, the one thing I love about this as well is that the pigment in here, while it doesn't provide any form of coverage, in my opinion, like my level of coverage, it really does kind of just create an even skin tone for my skin, and just takes that kind of like real redness I get away from here. You can still see a little bit of redness. You can definitely still see imperfections peeking through with this for me, but it just kind of gives me like a nice little fresh base to start with. But that's going to be completely dependent on your personal preference of how you wear makeup. And just keep in mind, this is all my personal opinion and my personal experience with the products. You might have a very different one. Let's move on to the Rose Ink Tinted Serum. So this product is 71 Australian dollars or 49 US dollars, I believe, off the top of my head. Same like mils and product amount, 1 fluid ounce, 30 mils. Now, one of the best things about this particular product is that it actually has 14 shades, and I personally believe that the brand has done quite a good job of covering the spectrum here, especially given that this is so sheer. It really is, you're going to be able to stretch those shades even further. I have the shade 040, which is described as a medium a light to medium skin tone with a neutral undertone, and I do find this is slightly too light for me. Like, it does actually visibly lighten my skin, whereas this one just kind of, yeah, well, I would even say, no, I wouldn't say this one darkens it slightly, but this one doesn't do anything in terms of like lightening or darkening my face, whereas I feel that this one does like add a shade of lightness or like make me a shade paler than what I am. So I will say that from what I'm seeing so far, at least with the shades that I've played with in store, is that they do seem slightly lighter than what you would anticipate. So I would recommend shading up versus shading down. But because it is so sheer, once I've like really rubbed it out or like rubbed it into my skin, it's like we're splitting hairs. But I will just note that just in case you are going to go your normal shade, you might actually want to shade up. The description of this particular product on the website or on the Rose Ink website says it's ideal for all skin types, a hydrating skin tint that bridges the gap between powerful skincare and luminous makeup to instantly deliver sheer radiant coverage. Pigment spheres are suspended within a skincare base infused with hyaluronic acid to visibly plump and smooth the appearance of fine lines, squalane to weightlessly hydrate the skin, and peptides to help protect against environmental damage. And then basically it also says that there is micro-encapsulated pigments that burst on contact and effortlessly blend across the face. So very, very similar. However, you will notice that the description of this one is a lot more skincare focused. The Chanel website does talk about some of their ingredients and how they're skincare focused as well, but this one is more heavily leaning towards that skincare kind of vibe versus this one. Now, I have really gotten down in the weeds with these two products. I have spent so many days in a row now testing them. I've done days where I'm just wearing this, days where I'm just wearing this, and a lot of days where I'm wearing half and half to see if it makes a difference with the way that my foundation wears, the way that my skin like oils come through or don't come through, my texture. I've also, you know, just all of the things that I could think of that maybe there's differences between these two products. The biggest difference that I have personally found like off the bat that's really obvious to me is that the Rose Ink one does not have the level of cooling and fresh feeling that the Chanel has. So if the reason why you love the Chanel is that real cooling fresh water feeling when you apply it, I don't believe that you would probably like this one as much, or just if you're anticipating that cool feeling, you'll feel disappointed by it, because I just don't get that cool fresh feeling from this one like I do with this one. In terms of the other wear, I think that the Rose Ink has slightly more, and I mean slightly, like a millimeter, like just the smallest amount more pigment to it than the Chanel Fresh Tint. I think that this one really does, when you apply it, you can kind of really see that pigment, and like I said, it does kind of make my skin tone slightly paler because the shade is just slightly too pale for me, whereas this one you can't really, like, I really don't see much of the pigment at all, and then it just blends so perfectly into the skin. This one blends into the skin lovely as well. I just mean it does have that ever so slight more pigment to it, so if you are looking for that, then maybe the Rose Ink is better suited towards you. I will say, like, I have seen, for example, Tara Brooke, who is a YouTuber here on the platform, she says that this Rose Ink Tinted Serum makes her skin quite matte. She really doesn't enjoy this product. I don't believe she's tried this one. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't heard her talk about this one though, but she does say that this makes her skin quite matte, and I know she has dry skin, whereas I don't find this makes my skin matte or like even a natural finish. I really do find this to be really, really hydrating on my skin. So potentially, I don't know, if you have dry skin and have tried this product, let us know in the comments down below. For me and my combination skin, it really does perform same-ish. I will say I do think that the Chanel one is slightly more hydrating though on my particular skin type, and I'm just wondering if that comes down to the fact that this is primarily water. So what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom in and show you guys the application of these primers, and you will be able to decide for yourself upon seeing that application. Hopefully that will help, and then I'll kind of at the end just give you my wrap-up thoughts and tell you which one I personally prefer. So let's go ahead and zoom in and put these on the face. We're going to put rose ink this side, Chanel this side. I've got a brush for the Chanel and then a brush for the rose ink. So I'm going to take the Chanel first because I feel like a lot of you have seen me apply this. So this is how much I kind of pump out for a half side of the face. You need to be careful with this. It is quite liquidy, and I just kind of like stamp it on first and then smooth it out. And instantly I feel just the most cooling, refreshing feeling. And that is my favorite thing about this primer. Especially in the mornings when you first wake up and you're like doing your makeup for work, it's just so like, oh, I'm awake. So this side of my face has nothing on, and this side of my face has the Chanel. You can really tell it doesn't do a whole lot, especially for me with my coverage levels. It really just like, you can see a bit more of a glow here now to my skin, a little bit more than this side, but honestly, it just feels fresh and hydrated. I don't personally find it smooths or does too much in terms of coverage level. We're gonna go ahead and take the rose ink on this brush now. I'm gonna take a similar amount, and I'm just going to do the same thing. And see, I don't know if you can instantly tell how much more coverage there is with this one than the Chanel, but I know like in real life, not on camera, I can definitely see it. I feel like you can even see this side is now slightly lighter than this side. Rose ink, Chanel. What do you guys think? I personally believe you can see that this side is slightly paler than this side just by a slight amount. I think this side has definitely done a better job at more so evening my skin tone out and doing kind of, I guess, kind of being more that tint. I don't really find that the Chanel does too much of that for me. They both feel the same texture, like that slightly tacky, but like when I say slightly, I mean ever so slightly. Not greasy feeling. I feel very hydrated. I don't personally believe that either of these products have smoothed any of my pores or texture or anything like that. You guys let me know. Can you see a difference between the Chanel and the rose ink down below? Can you personally see a difference on my skin? I don't personally think that I can, but I'd be super interested to see what you guys think for sure. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go and finish the rest of my makeup. I'm actually filming a get ready with me using the Gemini palette because you know we batch film around here. I do work full time, so I've got to get in all the filming while I can on the weekends. So I'm going to go do the rest of my makeup. When I come back, I'll have my full face of makeup on, and I'm going to tell you guys which primer I prefer and what I think each one is suited to, those kinds of details, and we will wrap the video up. So just a jiffy. Alrighty, this is the finished makeup look. All of the products that I've used will be linked in the description box down below for you guys, and this entire look will actually be coming up shortly on my channel, so keep an eye out for that. I did try a new foundation today. I tried the Pure 4-in-1 Love Yourself You foundation, I think it's called, and it looks absolutely lovely over these primers in particular. Both of them have done a lovely job. I don't believe, I'll show you up close, I don't believe that you can see a difference between either side here around like the makeup application, whether it looks more flawless. I think both of them look pretty identical to each other. I wouldn't call them an exact dupe. This one does really have that fresh cooling feeling, this one doesn't. This one has slightly more pigment, this one doesn't. So they're not exact dupes. However, they're pretty close. Truly, I think these are really close dupes to each other. I think if you're wanting to save a little bit of coin, or you prefer to use rose ink because they are cruelty free, they have better ingredients, etc., a better shade range, I don't think that you would be too disappointed with this one personally. Which one do I prefer? Oh, tough question, but honestly, I have to go with, I prefer the Chanel because I love that cooling sensation. I really do. I can't stress that enough. But if I took that cooling sensation away, I would go for the rose ink because it is cheaper, it has more shades to it, and it has overall better ingredients for my skin. So overall, I would probably say that the rose ink is a really, really solid, good option, but I just can't go past that cooling, fresh feeling you get when you put this on. I'd be very interested to know if you guys both have these products and whether you think that they're quite dupeable with each other, or if you have the rose ink. What are your thoughts on the rose ink? Because I have seen a few mixed reviews on this rose ink one, whereas I feel like most people that try this one just seem to love it. So I'd really be keen to know what you guys think as well. That is the end of the video. If you've made it this far, you're an absolute MVP. I appreciate you truly so much. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps my channel out so much. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.